Hi. Another what's in my kitchen. So I looked in the kitchen. I was gonna in the fridge, and I was gonna make more of that salad that I like so much. But then I noticed that I had bought some pork slices because this family loves pork. Sorry, everybody. If you can't eat pork, I'm kind of sorry, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. We all have issues. So anyway, I bought this pork because it was on sale. And I buy most of the stuff I buy on sale. And I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with it at the time. So tonight I'm just going to throw whatever in it. And this is how I usually start. You know, that wonderful vinegar glaze that I showed you last time. Where is it? Ta-ta. This stuff. This stuff is great. Oh, by the way, I bought this on sale too. So it wasn't as expensive as it probably should have been for me. So anyway, the nice thing about this is you can turn it into regular vinegar. You just like put it with water, so you can make it as thick or as soupy as you like. And so I mixed it with water, and I have in here, this is my bowl. Dog, why are you in the kitchen? Get out. This is just water and vinegar and what did I put in there? Pepper, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and Italian herbs, because we do pretty much everything with Italian herbs. If I'm going to put anything in there, I'm going to put onion, garlic, and Italian herbs. Everything gets pretty much that as like a starting place. So I look in my fridge and gosh, I don't see much else. But what I do have, and this is how I cook my pork. You can use olive oil if you're in the mood for olive, but I'm kind of not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it in butter, because I think that butter goes really well with it. And I just, on a whim, grab this lime juice, which goes really well in it. I mean, it mixes with vinegar. You can always put lime juice whenever you have vinegar, anything. Then I'm going to probably get some barbecue sauce, because that'll go with my marinade pretty good. I have several different kinds, but Heinz was having a sale on, like, you would get these 3 different flavors or 4 different flavors, and you can try them all. So, and they came in this cute little bottles. I don't usually buy little bottles because they cost more, and it's cheaper if you buy the big bottles. But I thought, we get the equivalent of a big bottle, but we get to try different flavors. So hey, that's always nice. So I got that, and I'm gonna put that on probably after it's cooked. And I don't really see anything else that's like really jumping out at me. Although there's some blackberry jelly, and sometimes I would put that on a pork, because pork is really sweet, so it goes really well with sweet stuff. Whatever you like. I mean, you can make it hot, spicy, whatever. I certainly like it in Indian food and things like that, but I also like to bring out the sweetness of the pork. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm heating up my pan right now. I use cast iron cooking, and my pan is starting to smoke, which is a little too much. So, got to take it off, and then I'll put some butter in it. And butter is how we start cooking the pork. So, we'll get cooking. So, okay, anyway, I'm like putting butter in the pan, and it's not very exciting and all that, but I thought this was kind of interesting. You might like this. I put my butter in with the wrapper because, like, a lot of times I just use it to soften it up. I don't really melt it all the way. But this time it got a little too melted, so now, like, the wrapper's all, like, enveloped inside this sort of half melted butter. So I kind of have to, like, use it in the pan, like so. And then I'll just take it right back out, because it's not a big deal. But a lot of times I'll use the wrapper to, what do you call it, lubricate, like pans, and cake pans and things like that. But this time, I left it in there a little too much. What I usually like to cook with, and this is why I turned it back on, and to show you, is I like to cook with something called ghee. Ghee is a butter product. It's made from butter. It's actually clarified butter, which you can get it if you go to Indian places, Indian groceries, any kind of place like that. And I don't know where my ghee went. I was going to show you. Ah, here it is. This is ghee, and this is a really big bottle because a friend of mine got it for me at Costco, and she has a membership I don't. So sometimes she goes and she tells me, and I'm like, ew, dude. And she sends me a picture of like a big bottle of maple syrup or ghee or whatever they've got over there. And I get all excited and send me one. Oh my God. So I got this big thing of ghee. And I like to use that a lot of the time because ghee is butter without the milk in it. So it doesn't really burn like butter does. Because you know when butter burns, it's actually burning the milk in the butter. But when they clarify it, they take the milk out. So all you're left with, oh my God, my hair looks awful. All you're left with is the butter fat, which is what you really want to cook with. And from what I've heard is that in India, they call it liquid gold, which I think is awesome. Anyway, I'm about to put the pork in right now. Boom. It's only been sitting for a little while, so it shouldn't, it's not like terribly marinated. Obviously, the longer you keep it in there, the more marinated it's going to be. I have a lot of this because when it was on sale, it's usually a big family pack or whatever. Try to make the thick piece parts go in the middle because that's where it's hottest. And we'll let that sit for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. Look for the white to show up around the edges. And yes, I put my fingers in here sometimes because I worked in restaurants a long time, and so now I have like really, I can get burns and it doesn't really bother me. So anyway, I'm going to pause this for a second. Sorry, I had to wash my hands. So anyway, I turned the heat down so that it doesn't like cook really fast. Pork actually cooks pretty quickly, and like a lot of meats, it'll finish its cooking once you put it on a plate and take it out of the pan. So you don't really need to cook it all the way through. If you do that, it gets like really tough and not that fun. So I like to make a really hot pan and then turn it down and let it kind of cook slowly. And you see the white is starting to come up. Can you see that? Around the edges, that means it's cooking all the way through. And then you just sort of turn it towards the middle where it's hottest. And you see there's more white on this side than there is on this side. So I spin it around so it'll cook kind of evenly. As you can see, this one, I don't know if you can see, starting to get kind of white on the edge of it anyway. That means it's cooking faster over here than it is over here. But that's because it's a thinner piece. Anyway, that's what pork does. Any meat really does that. You got to kind of turn it around periodically to make sure it cooks the same on all sides. I know, this sounds kind of boring. I'm really boring tonight. But don't worry. I'm going to make a sauce when I'm done, and you'll get to see that. That's the fun part. After I moved stuff around, I realized that I had other stuff touching my pan, and that would actually like take some of the heat away so it doesn't burn, doesn't cook as evenly. So I had to like move stuff around, get it all out of the way. You want the pan to be sitting all by itself, not touching anything. As you can see, each piece is starting to get whiter on the edges. And as it gets cooked, I move it to the side so that it'll cook even slower, which is what we want. We don't want to cook it too fast. This one's ready to go. Isn't that nice? This one too. Yeah, this one needs a little bit more time on the edges there. This one's definitely ready to go. And I've still got some in this bowl, so I'm not going to subject you to sitting through every one of these. We'll skip ahead to the sauce making. I will tell you that if you can put your finger in there and it's not hot, it's just barely warm, it's not ready. When it's hot, I mean, it's not supposed to burn you, but when it's hot and you go, oh, that means it's ready to take it off. And it'll finish cooking on the plate. If you want some like numbers or something to follow, you're supposed to cook meat by turning it about every 2 to 3 minutes. And when the juices start kind of bubbling out, that's when you know it's good to go. Because that's how meat cooks, is by the outside getting so hot that it boils the liquid inside, and that's how it cooks it on the inside. So now you know. While the second batch of meat is cooking, I'm going to cut up some shallots. And this is a shallot with the peel taken off. It's sort of a cross between an onion and a garlic. They're really cool, and if you can find them, they're really awesome. They're usually kept next to the garlic, and they look like tiny onions, like Spanish onions. But then you take the skin off, and they're actually kind of reddish underneath. They're really nice. The only thing is they can get bitter if you're too harsh with them. You have to be very gentle, so you chop them very thinly, but not too try to make you're sure your knife is really sharp, and then you're going to cook them really lightly. You don't want to go crazy with it because then they get a little bit on the bitter side. I don't know, that's what they say. I've never really noticed shallots getting bitter, but that's what they say. So you got to treat them real gentle. And I'm going to cut these up. As you can see, I put another batch of pork in here. This pork has got like this pink sort of white sheen on it. That means that it's already cooking more than I want it to. It's not keeping up with these guys. This one's really dark pink on this end, and that means it's not as cooked. So I make it so that that part's more to the center. This one is also still very dark pink over here along the edge, so I'm going to face that to the center. When things cook enough, you want to push them out to the edge. They won't cook quite as quickly, and you can make them kind of rest against the side of the pan. So, trying to keep them all at relatively the same rate. Here's my shallots that I have chopped up. Sort of sliced, sort of chopped, and I don't get too crazy about, you don't have to be particular about it. They do sting your eyes like onions do. You need to know that much. The other thing is that, like, when you put a finger on there, you should feel the juices underneath bubbling. If you don't, then it's not really cooking in that spot. That's what makes it hot, is the juices bubbling up, making steam and shit. It's delicious, too, so, you know, give it a try. I got the last of the chops in there, and so this is, like, looking really good, and it's going to be excitingly delicious very soon. Very soon. Okay, so all the pork has been cooked, is on a plate, and now I'm going to put the shallots in the pan. But first I gotta oil it up a little bit more with some ghee. I switched to ghee because my butter was all gone. I was only using it because I wanted to finish up what I had in that bowl. Anyway, here's the ghee, and hang on a second, I gotta open it. And just cut a little chunk out. Doesn't have to be a whole lot. Just a little bit. I don't know, like a finger full or something like that. And then it doesn't want to cooperate, so I put the ghee in there, and I'm going to let that melt. I took the pan off because it was already getting a little too hot and frying all the good stuff. I don't want to fry all the good stuff off. And here come the shallots. Right? Just pour all that jazz in there. Put the shallots in. I'm cooking them nice and light. Turn the burner down, way down to like 1 or something. You just want to soften them up a little bit. Get some of that taste, all that flavor stuff in there. And then I'm going to start the sauce. As you notice, there's a bunch of burned, cooked stuff. Not burned, none of it's burned. Cooked stuff in the bottom of the pan. Best way to deal with that is to turn it into sauce by putting a liquid in there. And I like to use, I can get it half and half. And sometimes a little milk. Great, we're almost out of half and half. I'll have to send the boy to get some more for my coffee, because I gotta have half and half of my coffee. That's gonna cook up nicely. Got it on low. See how it bubbles? Woo! So exciting. And you just stir it up to get all that wonderful brown stuff off. That is an amazing sauce. I gotta take it off because I don't want the sauce to burn. That tastes fantastic. I better get some milk, thin it down. So I put the milk in. Now it's all soupy, right? And you're thinking, that's not sauce. That's like some liquidy crap. Who wants that? Well, that's all right, because we're going to thicken it up first by stirring and cooking it a little bit more. See how nice and brown it gets? That's from all the pork juices that I cooked into it. Nom. Nom. So, taste that. Oh, that's good. Okay. It's got a nice shalloty flavor to it. So I put some more salt in there because it kind of needs it. And probably what I'm going to do is make it technically a gravy, or I guess you could call it, with some flour. And I got my flour in a big thingamajig. And mostly I put it on the spatula so it'll distribute it somewhat evenly. I'm being kind of lazy at this point because I don't really care that much. If the sauce has lumps in it, I'm fine with that. I'm just going to shake it around. And the sauce the flour will turn it into nice thick gravy. And like I said, be sure to taste it so it tastes the way you want it to taste. I mean, you know, if you like it salty, put more salt in it, whatever, jazz. But I don't like this. It doesn't taste right. Well, fix it. You know? Put whatever the hell it is you like in there. My son likes thyme. I like sage and rosemary. But neither of us are like super picky about it. We just like flavor. And frankly, that is pretty good stuff. So the next thing I have to do is I put the pork back in here along with all the juices that have, I'll show you, all the juices that have accumulated onto that plate that it has been sitting on. See that? See that, Jazz? That's liquid gold right there, man. You got to throw that back in there. Put some more flour on that puppy. And everything sits in the flour and the gravy, and it's amazing. Gotta try it. Alright, hope you like it. So, this is more or less the finished product. Put these puppies in here. Kind of pseudo stir it up so that everything gets coated with some of that wonderful gravy. And if it's too thick, add some more milk, I guess. But the juices from the pork is what makes it so incredible. And the shallots help too. So, like I said, onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, salt, black pepper, and I found the shallots in the drawer, so I was like, hell yeah, shallots, man. Then, when all that's done, when the pork's done, you do the shallots, then you throw the half and half, or cream, if you like. Or if you really are stuck up on not having too much fat, which I don't know why the hell you want to follow my recipes if you want to not have too much fat, because I'm all about the fat, baby. Then, you know, you could use, I don't know, soy milk or some jazz, but, because it doesn't really matter. You put that in, and if it's too thin, then just add some flour. It's an amazing thing. And it's not that hard. And look at that, Jazz. Freaking awesome. And I know it's going to taste awesome because I've been tasting it the whole time. That's the other thing. Taste your damn food. If it doesn't taste right, then put something else in it, man. That's how it works. That's cooking. So that's what's in my kitchen tonight. Hope you like it.